Hello, I'm Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. I'm currently doing 30 videos and 30 days to celebrate the fact that I'm turning 30 this month. And today's video is about my favorite debut novels. And it was hard because I've never sat down and think about, is this the first book this writer has ever written? I don't know. So I had to go on to list and trying to find some of the debut novels I own and that I have read. So I have quite a lot actually. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. That's funny. Anyways, I have a mix of fantasy, romance, and classics. That's gonna be interesting. Anyways, let's start with the first book. So we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. This is one of my favorite fantasy books. I've stumbled onto this by accident in a bookstore for my birthday. I was like, this is a gorgeous cover. I'm gonna buy it. It's kind of cheap. It was $24. And I absolutely love this. It's better than the second book. I haven't read the third book, but this was so good. So you're following, I'm not gonna pronounce the name, this girl who is hidden by her mother because her mother wasn't supposed to have a child, and at one point her identity is discovered, so she flees to save her life and all of that, and you're following her as she tries to survive. And yeah, so good. It's sad that the second book was not as good and that the third book is so expensive for very little pages, but maybe one day I will read it. Then Brandon Sanderson, this is the first book he published. It's called Elantris. It's funny because it's also my first book I have read by him. It's a standalone so far, and it's such a good way to start reading Brandon Sanderson because he's intimidating, and yeah, but this is still a thick book. I just realized it's over 600 pages. But it's very good, very easy to get into, more of a dense fantasy if you read romantasy or young adult fantasy. This is more for adults, but it's still readable. I've made it. when I was reading that, I wasn't into fantasy that much. So it's not that hard to read and it's worth it and very, very good. And I love Brandon Sanderson. So these are for the fantasy. Yeah, these are for the fantasy. Now let's move on to romance. Okay, The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. It's good. Not my favorite by him, but it's the first book he has published. It's gonna be controversial, but I prefer the movie. I think the movie was so great that it's hard to compete. Anyways, the book is still good. It's a good debut novel. I've read almost everything by Nicholas Sparks, so kind of biased, but very, very good. Also very short, a little bit over 200 pages, and also it's not a standalone. There's a second book. It doesn't go with the movie, but there's a second book called The Wedding. So very good debut novel. Then I have The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. So I listened to this. I've never read the book. My friend read this book. This book was very good, but then I read the second book and it was exactly the same thing and it was boring. So the first book is very, very good, and then the rest is disappointing. So, but this, very good. You're following Olive and Adam. Olive is doing her PhD. Adam is the professor. It's kind of but this was fine because it's not real life. If it's real life, that's another story, but I really enjoyed this. Woman in STEM, I guess. But at the same time, woman who dates their teacher. Anyways, that's another story. Then let's see. Before I move on to the classic, I have this. It's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. This is more like a thriller. So you're following Lisbeth Salander, and it's so good. If you have never read this, you should, because I think I'm gonna reread it this year because I miss it. Anyways, it's part of the Millennium Trilogy. This is the first book, and yeah, very good. Also, I think it's very easy to find used because I found it used, in a kind of somewhat good condition. And it's a bit long, not gonna lie. It's like 800 pages, but it's very good. I think you should read it. Anyways, another very good debut novel. The books are on the floor. Then, classics. They're still debut novel because even if they're classic, you know. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I think this is the best book she has written. Is it the only one? I don't think it is. I might be mistaken. Anyways, I read this a couple of years ago, and now that I'm talking, I can't remember what it was about, but I remember liking it very, very much. Also, this edition is gorgeous. I love it. Then, Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is not my favorite book by her, but it's the first book she has published, so it's making this a list. I love Jane Austen. I've read almost everything she has published except her non-finished work. So it's not really that she has published them. They were published after her death. But yes, Sense and Sensibility, I think it's very good. I also like it's green and orange. I love this edition. And there's a movie that came out recently, Frankenstein, so just wanted to talk about. This is by Mary Shelley. And I think the last movie that was made, the start was very promising, but the rest, no. But I love the book. I think it's a very good way to think about like beauty, the way we view beauty in life, like the way we treat people based on their looks. That's problematic. Anyways, I really enjoyed that one. So if you have not read it, I think you should, and then you're gonna hate all the movies. So yeah, these are some of my favorite debut novels. I think there's so many good debut novels in life, and yeah, these are some of my favorite personally. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow along as I do this 30 videos in 30 days, please subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.